Hello to you. Yes, you. Thank you for connecting today. And it is a pleasure to see you here today. Thank you for making time. So, welcome to Trinity Live. And this is Christians on and off campus. We are Bible believing Christians. And this is rated PG, parental guidance. And just a disclosure to you who is with us today, I am not an expert in parenting. However, I am a parent myself, so I want to share with you the parental journey and subjects that may come about parenting or that are relevant to the way that we train our children. And our children may be different ages, and that is okay. And the other thing that I want to disclose with you is that the parental views are my own and of the one who will be my guest. And what else? My name is Monica Evans, and I am a mom of two boys. I am married, and I am connecting from Arizona. And we are continuing with the series regarding honor. And 4 weeks ago, we talked about honoring God. We wanted to start with God because He is the creator. He's our all in all. So we want to be sure that we show proper honor to Him. And we had actually a special guest back then. It was the founder and director of Urban Youth Justice, Pedro Rodriguez. And he shared reminders or maybe new information if you are a new believer about having a vertical honor towards God, and that would be like by praying, reading the word, and fasting, maybe. And then also he mentioned about the horizontal way of honoring others, and that would be the way that we treat one another. Then 2 weeks ago, I had a guest, Isaiah Evans, my son, and he actually shares some really insightful scriptures about honoring parents and how God actually cares about honoring parents, and He has that in high regards. So today I am going to have a special guest. He is the Vice President of Operations for Trinity. He is in Colorado. He's an educator at heart. He's Dave Baker. If you want to know more about his educational background, you can check the Trinity website. And today he is going to be talking to us about honoring teachers and those and authorities. If you have any questions or comments during this session, please be sure to submit your comments on the comment section or questions. Or there's a question button too, so you can go ahead and use either or. So let me go ahead and add Dave to the conversation. Wait, here it is. Let me see. Oops. Sorry, people. I'm trying to figure out here why is that I cannot see. Oh, there he is. So let me go ahead. And is waiting on connecting. Don't forget to send your comments or your questions. And there is Dave. Hi, Dave. Thank you so much for connecting with us today, for making time.
Hi, Monica. Hi,
Day.
everyone.
Hi.
I just had to give a shout out. I loved the Instagram title of whoever it is, whose name is She's in Charge.
Oh.
And that is awesome. That's fantastic. I love that. Kids are not going to be questioning that one. Let's see who's in charge of this household. Oh wait,
she is
Mom. That's fantastic.
Yes, well, thank you so much for joining Rated PG for parental guidance. And so you can go ahead and share with us about what God says about honoring authority, and in your case, like honoring teachers or educators.
Sure. Well, thank you, Monica, for doing this series. I'm a parent as well. I've got a 13-year-old son and an 11-year-old daughter, and we weren't sure that we would ever have kids. So my wife is also an educator, and our plan was we were going to take ownership, children-wise, while they were at school, of our kids in our classrooms, and that gave us an immense sense of value for the portion of our lives that we thought we weren't going to be able to have as actual parents. Thanks to God, we are able to have kids, and we've got 2 of them. 2 is enough. The heck with 8 is enough. Yeah, 2 is plenty. They're awesome. But I think every parent is a parent in progress, and so programs like these are awesome. So as an educator, I am currently an adjunct professor for a university in California. I teach English there. I have taught high school English also, taught that for 7 years. And then for 10 years, I've been a school administrator at the high school and middle school levels. And so I've just about seen it all. I've been through just about any type of scenario one would want to go through in a school, and a lot that you just wouldn't want to go through, from fires to guns to weapons and to just all sorts of stuff. But here's what I want to talk about is the idea of giving back and really looking at ways that we can serve those around us. And my wife and I, we live by this standard as well. One thing that I caught a hold of in my first year of teaching was not the importance in my classroom of me, not the importance of my administration, not the importance of my English department chair, the other teachers I taught with, but it was Nick. Nick was one of the most important people for me to teach. Mm-hmm. And Nick, he was my janitor at Golden Valley High School in Bakersfield, California. And Nick is a rock star. And Nick, when he would come through at night, I would still be there in most cases, and I'd be planning and grading. And Nick and I would have conversations. And what I found was that, golly, Nick, he's a real person. And he has real feelings. And if we treat Nick right, like me, appreciating who Nick was as a person and as a janitor, well, he's going to look at my classroom as a different place. He's going to see value within the classroom that the classroom area gives him. I talk to my kids about Nick. Every year I would say, hey, okay, today's lesson we're going to start off with is about Nick. Who can tell me about Nick? And the kids who had me before, they knew. They just kept quiet, just sat there because they were ready for it. And very few knew who Nick was. And I might have been the only teacher on campus that did that. But we would show appreciation to Nick. My last class of the day, we would arrange the desks in a way that would allow him easier access to come in with his broom. We would consolidate the trash cans. We would help Nick out because Nick, I love that guy. And I took that same idea when I went into administration, looking for ways to give grace to those who worked for me. In the classroom, Nick worked for me. And I did the same thing when I went into administration. I looked for ways to help my teachers out, to help my custodians out, to help my bus drivers out, to help everyone out who worked for me. Because at the end of the day, it's those people who gave the greatest amount of care and concern to our kids and the other adults in the building. Mm. So, what can you all do? And some of the things that we do, my wife and I, now for full disclosure, this has been an odd year for me. I was seeking a transition in work, and so I have been out of work for the year, and good old coronavirus did not help the job situation out any. Most of the jobs I'd applied for, I'm getting little emails back, we've canceled the job hunt. So these are things that people can do without money. Mm-hmm. And that's really what we've done this year. We've liked in the past to go buy the teachers gift certificates and really load them up with stuff. But here's what we've done. One of the first thing that we do is we really look for the unnoticed people and give them grace. And an easy way to do that is simply by finding out who they are, and you give a shout out on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, wherever you found them, and you give them some love there. Who does not like getting receiving shout outs,
Right.
right? I mean, it goes so far, and it could only be for 30 minutes, but think of on your birthday when everyone is giving you shout outs and love. And so we try to do that. The other thing that we've done is we'll do little things where we hear that someone likes something. So we'll bake some cookies, or we'll make a special cup of coffee, or we'll find out they like Dr. Pepper or some soft drink, and we can spare $1, and so we'll go and do that. Or what I've done this year that's been different, because I've got a little time on my hands, is I've gone into the classrooms a lot this year, and into the general school. There's always something that can be done by anyone in the school. There's stuff that they can't have you do. They can't have you grade papers, or they shouldn't. They can't have you do stuff that's going to be directly putting you in eyesight necessarily, and working with students and without the proper background checks and stuff. But you can make copies, you can cut things out. And so we've done so much in the classrooms of things like that, where we get the teachers, hey, let us know if you need anything copied, anything cut out, and give it to us, and we will make that happen. And we're able to take some stuff in that we have, and so little things like that. And the idea behind it is, again, it's always nice to get something really, really special. I'll never forget my wife got a bracelet once, and a purse once. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I had a student at my high school once bring me a dress shirt, and I still have it. I don't want to wear it much because it has so much value to me, because I know that they don't have much. And so that was so cool. But what you can do in giving, it's always special to be able to give something, but not always. The teacher is obviously the one who is recognized the most, but don't forget the other people. If you have a student maybe who has special needs, or who needs some other attention, and you have people who are working, adults who are working with your children, make sure that you find a way to recognize those people. And again, it's not about money. If there's a teacher or an educator who got into the business to make money and to become rich, it's not going to take long for them to realize that they got in the wrong business. So we're not in it for the money. It really feels nice to get a little pat on the back. The other person to really think about is your school nurse. The nurse is the one who, again, gets no visibility except for when your kid falls and scrapes. My daughter will be up playing hard, and she'll fall off the swing set, scrape her knee, needs a little love. Who gives it? I mean, the person on yard duty will give a little bit, but that person's responsible for the 200 kids out playing. But it's the nurse who really grabs her and takes care of her and doctors the wound, and then gives her the old, all right, be a tough, get back out there, go play some more. And so the nurses are really special people. The other people to look out for too are the office staff, the secretaries. They're the ones who are answering the phone calls every day. And I've picked up the phone a few times for the secretary, and I'm going to tell you, maybe one way to give back to them when you have to call the school is, before you let loose on whatever the reason is you've called, whether it's, hey, I'm calling my son in sick today, a simple, hey, you know what? Thank you for what you do. Thank you for always being there to answer the phones and to be so nice and respectful. And if you have a secretary who may be a little on the gruff side, maybe, give them a little bit of grace, because it's possible that they just got off the phone with someone who was not pleasant at all. and the language that the school staff gets from parents and different people, it'll make your stomach turn. So just thinking of ways to give grace and to praise those who deal with the kids on a daily basis. And then you go up to the principal and the other administrators, and just finding little things that would be really cool for them to have to remember your children. As an administrator, I think the coolest thing I got, I'm a veteran, and we did at the school, we always did some sort of Veterans Day event, and I had kids draw me pictures and give me pictures, depicting this bald head as a soldier and different things. And, some of them were really funny and corny, but all of them touched me right in my heart. And it only took, some of them, they really did a good job on. Some of them, it may have been only like 2 minutes of scribbling, but you know what? It was okay. It still was time that they spent focused on me and thinking about me. And that was awesome. I loved that. And then we go up the ladder and you think about, I just had a conversation the other day with my garbage man, who is amazing. I mean, some people have so much trouble with their garbage collectors where, if there is anything sticking out of the top of the lid, forget about it. They are not going to take that and dump it. My guy is awesome. I mean, we have stuff out there piled up, boxes from Costco and bags of stuff that they don't fit inside the garbage can, and he takes it all. And I went out there the other day and I took him a bottle of water. I wanted to give him like $100, but I took him a bottle of water and we just had a social distancing conversation. My kids made sure that they shouted out, "Hey, don't forget the social distance." Yeah, we are. But just that, and he that just lit his day up. And you think about the different people. Our mail lady, I try my best at about 3:45 to be outside so that I can collect the mail from her at social distance, arm length now. But just to say, "Hey, how you doing?" And now with the added twist of, "Hey, be safe, really." Take care of yourself. And again, it's little teeny tiny stuff, but I'm telling you, it really does make a difference. And you can take that up as far as you want. Go to your mayor of your town or city. I believe me, city leaders, there's very few people who will give them grace and love unless they're needing something or wanting something in return. Just to go up and make a phone call to the city or just to email the city. My daughter decided she found this website and was doing a lot of drawings, and she found a drawing of a police officer and a firefighter, and she was like, "Hey, Dad, I want to draw this for our fire department and police department." And I said, "That's awesome." She said, "But I can't get it to them." And I said, "All right, I'll scan it and email it to them." And so I did. And I mean, the number of emails I got back from different members of the fire department, different police officers and the secretary and the dispatchers, it was incredible. And they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do that. But yet, and my daughter didn't need to do that. It was a thought of, "Oh, hey, here's something cool. Hey, I want to give back." So my encouragement to everyone would be, as you're going about your day, you're going to see some people who you regularly deal with. Just take a second and think of, wow, how could I give back to that person? And look, if you've got some money, gosh, it's always nice to get something, but don't think that anything other than a slowed down, eye to eye, "Hey, thank you," really, instead of the rushed, "Hey, thanks a lot." It really does make a difference. And so I just challenge everyone to think about that. And because this is the PG session, the parental guidance, anything that you do like that when your kids are around, they will recognize, and they can tell, telling you, they can tell, are you being sincere, or is this an act? They can
Mm.
tell. They can tell. So make it your daily habit when you see someone who's doing something for you. Make it your habit to be gracious to them, and to make some sort of real effort to give back, and to say thank you and be gracious. Because when your kids are with you, you're really going to want to do that. And you don't want it to be fake, where you're trying to figure out, oh, am I really going to do this? Um, get in the habit of doing it, and it will become second nature, and you'll find yourself doing it all the time. And I'm telling you, making someone smile because of something just dumb little that you do, man, it makes you feel good, and it makes that person feel good. And in the days that we're living in now with coronavirus, and the lockdown, and everything is starting to reopen, which is so nice. But there's still a lot of stress about this, and so
Mm.
that little bit really can go a long way in helping our communities.
Yeah, you know what? I do appreciate the fact that you are making it very like hands-on, versus sometimes like we may talk a lot about the theory, and if we say that honor in simple terms is high respect or esteem, and I think at different points we may be in different points of authority. Perhaps is sometimes in your case as a teacher, sometimes maybe the nurse, sometimes it's the major. Um, or you are the client to the garbage person, but like by you showing grace, respect, and esteem, I think it's also a way to it almost opens, I want to say actually it opens the door to share the love of Christ, um, the love that Christ has given us,
Yeah, it
so
absolutely does.
yeah, so
Yeah,
and I
it
think it
absolutely.
even goes beyond that, making me feel good. It's sometimes we need to die to self, and sometimes maybe instead of having a harsh word, especially if we're calling the school office, and I know that as you mentioned, there is tension,
Yeah,
and I know like some parents were getting like really really frustrated when it was time to call the office, or maybe double check on the teachers because for some reason the connection wasn't working, or there was a lot of homework. And then instead of maybe to wait and like think, how am I reacting, because to your point, our kids are looking
sure. Yeah,
and they are paying close attention.
yeah,
So if with our mouth and in theory we say that we ought to respect and esteem and love, because Christ loved us, but then I just go ahead and go on or off. Which
right.
one it is? On or off?
Going
Yeah.
off on someone. Ah,
Right. And then it's like,
yeah.
okay, then it's like, okay, wait, my mom or my dad just talked to me about like God this and God that, but now it's like going like it's acting like this towards my teacher, or maybe we're ranting about I don't know, the president, maybe
Right.
the mayor of your city, or why not, then it doesn't match. So what is going on there, right? And so we need to be cautious about the way that we go about um, doing life, and the way that we treat the ones around us, as you mentioned before. So I think it's very important to show honor at all the levels, and just taking into consideration that we want to go ahead and once again extend the grace that God has given us, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um,
And you brought up a great point too, of being Christ-like in everything that we do. And it's not, it shouldn't be something of saying, well, so I'm Christian, so this is just what I got to do. Um, one of the most touching moments of my educational career over 25 years has been, I was in a classroom. It was my second year of teaching, and the class left, and one kid stayed behind. And I said, "Hey, what, Mike? You okay? What's going on?" And he said, "Now, Baker, I just need to talk to you for a second." And I said, "Yeah, what do you got?" And he said, I got to tell you, you are the best Christian example in my life.
hmm,
And I looked around, and I was like, Oh no, I'm caught. I slipped up and said I'm Christian and I'm a school teacher. I'm going to be fired. Oh my gosh, what did I do? And he noticed the look and he said, Baker, you've never said anything. I
Hmm.
just know you are because of the way you act, the way you talk to us, and the way you care for us and you love us. And even when we mess up, like,
Hmm.
we know you're upset, but it doesn't change the fact that we also know you still care for us and you're trying to help us. And he said, I've got a pastor, I've got a youth pastor, I've got this person. But he said, I'm going to be honest, through all of them, you're the best example I've got.
Hmm.
And I said, Mike, first off, I want to be truly honest and full disclosure here. I am a sinful dude. I am human. I make mistakes all the time. I am not worthy of God's grace, but because Jesus came and gave his life for us,
Yeah.
we're
Let's see.
able to be ourselves and mess up. And it was awesome.
That's super cool. A living testimony. So let me see. There is a question here. I don't know what is TEIF. Do you?
I do not.
Okay, so I don't know what that is. Maybe you can resubmit your question. If you have any questions, feel free to submit them. This will actually be available later on IGTV. So today, actually, we're talking about honoring authority. And actually, Dave just did a spin on it. And it's like, let's go ahead and show honor to everyone around us. And I like the story of Nick. And I think sometimes, like, because in your case, a position of authority, you're a teacher. Nick perhaps is look maybe in a different level of authority, maybe lower because janitor. However, you show care, respect, esteem for Nick, and I think your students can go ahead and see that. And I don't necessarily will say like you need to earn honor. Uh, However, you were, I think, exemplifying the honor to everyone, really. Not only in this case, maybe to the ones that are higher level than you, but everyone around you. And I think that's awesome, because once again, I think God shows His love to all of us. Like the sun comes for everyone, right?
Right.
We can
Absolutely.
all enjoy the flowers. So in that we can see like God's grace. So I am really encouraged by the way that you share honor um, to Nick, and then your students were able to see that care and respect from you towards Nick. And I think that once again is a good testimony of who you are in Christ and the way that you treat. I think that's what happens when we love Christ. Like, we want to extend that love and that mercy that was given to us, and therefore we have this like desire almost to go ahead and show care and love to everyone around us. Do we do perfectly all the time?
Well, no.
Unfortunately, no.
No. No.
Right? But to your point, it's important to go ahead and keep that in mind, more so nowadays with this pandemic,
Yes.
because sometimes we may be like extremely tense, but if we can go ahead and be the different, react different than others, may it be an opportunity to be like, wow, why is Dave talking nice to other people?
Right. Like,
Like,
what's up with that guy?
yeah, what's
What's
up
wrong
with
with him?
Dave? Why is he
Yeah.
happy all the time?
Right.
Or like, why is
They
he?
do ask that. I will
Yeah,
say they do ask that. What's wrong with this guy? He's always
yeah,
happy.
like what? Is he's being nice to the garbage man? Like, what? He waits for the mail lady to just show kindness to her? Like, I want to know what's going on with that dude. So I think that those are really cool life examples and life in action, and I think that it speaks louder even than if I were to tell you honor your authority, but then you don't go ahead and follow with the action.
Right. Right. And again, it takes a little effort, It doesn't need to take a penny of money, not a penny. All it takes is a little effort. You know, I remember when I dropped my daughter off some at school this year, and her PE teacher, brand new guy, knows all the kids' names. And, roll my window down. Hey, I don't remember what his name is now, but, hey, Mr. And he came over, and he came over thinking there was a problem. He was coming over to problem solve. And I said, hey, I want to thank you. It took him by surprise. Oh, what? I said, no, I've seen you interact with different kids, and every kid's name who's walked across the street. That is amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you for you noticing the other kids, but, thanks for my daughter. I appreciate that as her dad. I appreciate that the staff here at the school recognizes her as an individual. So thank you for that. And it's nothing earth-shattering huge. It's just finding anything that you can do to give back, to show love.
Yes, indeed. Okay, well, thank you so much, Dave. By the way, this is going to be on IGTV because now the live sessions can be stored there. There is a previous session about honoring parents that I will highly suggest to check it out. It's from a teenager's perspective, and actually he shared a lot of Bible verses. Interesting. I was actually surprised about that myself. So if you have time, maybe check that out. If you are not a member of Trinity, this will be a good time to become one, because there is a lot of things going on behind the scenes. I know, Dave, you and Mercy, myself, we were partaking of the ELF sessions, which was
what a great opportunity.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super encouraged. There were a lot of people have great talents for the Lord, and this drive to praise God from different parts of the world, which was super amazing. And some of them, I think, have signed up to be connected somehow with Trinity, so be on the lookout for that. I know there is mentorship coming up. I know there is book club coming up.
Yeah.
So sign up for that. Check the website, and there is a newsletter as well if you are a member. And maybe share this information with someone that may need encouragement or a little push to go ahead and share who Christ is in action by the way that we treat those around us.
Absolutely.
If you have any maybe comments or suggestions for future sessions, let us know. Thank you very much, Dave, for your time. Thank
Absolutely.
you for sharing Christ in action. And it is my desire for you guys who are there, to connect again. And we'll see you in 2 weeks at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Maybe I need to change the time, because I know in Europe it's right now midnight. So
right.
I don't know how many people will be able to join at midnight. But anyways, thank you so much for your time. And let us, for the ones who claim Christ, let us be good representation of who He is in everything we do and the way that we treat our authorities and the people that we come across. Thank you so much, Dave.
Thank you, Monica. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.